So let's get started by looking at our project page. Here's a quick tip. If you don't know where the image is that you want to format, you can use the same technique that we use to download the image from Stock Exchange. Just right-click, select Save Picture As for the PC, or Control-click and Save Image As on the Mac to download the image to your hard drive. Now that we have our image, we are ready to format it for our website. There are many different software programs capable of resizing images. In this episode, we will be covering 4 different Adobe options ranging from a free solution to a $799 choice. These options are Photoshop.com, Photoshop Elements, Photoshop CS4, and Adobe Lightroom. So let's go to Photoshop.com and get started. This is a pretty decent tool. It gives you 2 gigabytes for free of storage and the ability to edit, modify email. There's a lot that this will do. I think there's even a mobile application that works out pretty well. But we've had pretty good success with this. So let's go ahead and log in. If you don't want to create an account right at first, you can always try it with a test drive and see how it works. But it's free, it's easy, and it's pretty decent. So this is going to be the login screen. Like I said, there's a variety of other things that you can do. We're going to go straight to the library, and we need to get our buffalo photo uploaded. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come over to Upload Photo. We're going to go find it on our hard drive. There's our buffalo, and it's going to upload it. And even though this is a 4.4 megabyte file, it goes pretty quick. It's a pretty decent deal. Now that our file has been uploaded, let's go ahead and get started. All you have to do is click on the edit icon. That 4 meg file prepared and ready to go. Here's your image. Click on Resize. It's going to give you a brief snapshot. Here's the main image. Here's the little window that shows you what part of the image you're looking at. You can move this around. We're going to click on Custom because the image that we're formatting today is 400 pixels wide. So that's what we want to format all of these to. So you can see here this one's 2048 wide. So we're just going to change this to 400. Okay, there's our image. We'll go ahead and hit Finish. This will process our photo for us. And the next thing we have to do, save it to our hard drive, and we're ready to go. So we come over here to the Save. We're going to go ahead and save it as original size. We'll hit Save. It's going to download it to our hard drive. I've created a folder called Web Ready. Like I mentioned before, I'm going to put the longest size of my photo is going to go in my file name. So I'm going to put 400. And for this video, we're going to go ahead and add in where this photo was edited from. So this is Photoshop Online. That way, when we look at these images in a little while, we'll have something to compare them with. So we'll save that. It's downloaded and it's done. So how big is that image? Well, let's take a look. Let me reshrink that down for you so you can see a little bit more. Alright, let's go to the library, find our web ready photo, and looky there, 63K. That's a pretty decent size image. That'll work really, really well on the website. But we have 3 other tools to look at, so let's go see what those will do. Photoshop Elements. Now this is a little bit new to me. I'm a Photoshop user, and I haven't used Photoshop Elements a lot, but I know a lot of our customers do. So I've downloaded it and been playing with it lately, and I'm pretty impressed with what it can do and how fast it can do. The toolbars are a little bit out of whack, and I find myself struggling sometimes to find where my tools are, but this is really laid out for the consumer and not the graphic artist. And once you start getting to understand it, it does a really good job. There's an organize feature in here. We'll take a look at that. Here's our buffalo photo right here. You have the option inside the organize feature to add different tags, keywords, see what the photo is, what it's doing, and so on. But for the sake of this video, we're going to go ahead and edit it. This will bring it right up into the editor. Then all we need to do here is we need to resize this image. So we're going to go to Image, we're going to go to Resize, Image Size. Now, by default, the resample image is not checked, which when that's not checked, you don't have the ability to mess with the pixels. And if you've learned in this video series so far, everything's about pixels. The browser doesn't really care about the inches in width and height. What it really cares about is the pixels. So we're going to resample this. We're just going to click the check, and we're good to go from here. The first thing that we're going to change is we're going to resize this down to 72 pixels per inch. That way it's formatted for a monitor. We're going to come up to here and we're going to format it to 400 pixels wide. That way it's the same as all of our other images. So we went from a 17 meg file down to 312K, but we're even going to get that much smaller. So let's go ahead and say OK. Now it looks awful tiny, but if you double click the magnifying glass, so as you can see, this is a full-size image. This is how big it's actually going to be. 400 pixels, 267 tall, 72 ppi. Perfect for the web. Now, the only thing we have left, save it to the hard drive. So we're going to go up here to File. We're going to use the Save for Web option. This is an unbelievable tool. This interface is pretty simple. It's pretty clean. First thing we're going to do is make it a little bit bigger so that you can see what you're working with. Here's your original. Here's a compressed version. Here's the size of that compressed version. Right now it's at 81K, 16 seconds for a 56.6 modem download. Personally, I like JPEGs better than GIFs for photographs because it compresses a whole lot better. So let's go right over here. We're going to pick a preset. We're going to pick JPEG High. Here's our original. Here's our compressed version. It's hard to tell the difference. But now look at the file size. We're at 31K. So this 4.5 meg file is now down to 31K. 7 seconds on a 56.6 modem. That's incredibly fast. Perfect for what we need. So we'll go ahead and hit OK. We'll save it again for the web. 400 pixels. And we'll tell this that this is Photoshop Elements. And hit Save. That's all there is to Photoshop Elements. So now let's take a look at Photoshop. Photoshop's fairly similar. The interface is pretty close. Photoshop is an application that's designed for graphic artists and professional photographers and stuff like that. There's a lot you can do in here, but there's also a lot you can do in here that you'll never use just manipulating a few photos. Photoshop Elements runs $99. Photoshop CS4, which you're looking at here, is $799. Big difference. So let's open up our file. We'll go to File, Open. Go find a buffalo picture. Okay, Photoshop's got it loaded. First thing we're going to do here is change the size. Make sure that resample is clicked. Gives you access to here. Now, let me show you something here. This goes both for Photoshop and Photoshop Elements. If I resize this right now to 400 pixels, and then I change my resolution to 72, it's going to change my pixels. And the reason is because we're resampling this image. So the first thing you want to do is you want to change your resolution to 72 first, and then go back and change your height and your width. Say OK. We'll go ahead and resize it. So there's our full-size image. Pretty clean, pretty nice. Next thing we're going to do, save it for the web. We're also going to use the Save for the Web again. This is an incredible technology that Photoshop Adobe's done. So we can look at, here's our original, here's our compressed version, 31K, 7 seconds on 56.6. As you can tell, the $799 application is doing the same job as the $100 application. So we'll go ahead, it's already set for JPEG, high compression, quality is 60. Go ahead and hit save. This will put it right into our web ready directory, 400 pixels wide. This is Photoshop, and we'll hit save. It's just that simple. So now let's go check out Lightroom. Lightroom's a little bit different, but in all reality, you're going to get pretty much the same results. So in Lightroom, we select the image we want to save. You can tell it's 3,000 pixels by 2,000 pixels. We hit export. We get to export window. This is where it's going to go, Webtown TV. Put it in the web ready folder. We're going to pick our compression ratio. Everything's been set at 60, so we'll keep apples for apples here. We'll go ahead and resize this to the longest edge. We're going to make it 400 pixels wide right here. And we're going to go ahead and make sure that there's a little bit of sharpening on here. And we're going to go ahead and hit export. It's done. Lightroom's finished. That's all there is to it. Lightroom's $299. It doesn't have the editing capabilities that some of the other tools, as far as when you get away from the photograph. But for photograph manipulation, you probably can't beat Lightroom either. So let's take a look at our hard drive and see what we have. So here's our hard drive. And as you can see, here's Photoshop 40K, Photoshop Elements 32K, Photoshop Online 63K, and Lightroom at 72K. It is that simple. These images are now ready to be uploaded to the internet, and you'll notice that you'll get a quicker download time. So let's see what that looks like. We'll go back to our web browser. Here's our episode page. Remember when we reloaded this earlier, it was painfully slow. Well, it still is. So what are we going to do now? We're going to change out that photo. We're going to go into iControl Web Studio, the tool that Webtown TV uses for its website. And let's go change out that image. We'll just log in right here. Go to Content Editing, Page Management. Here's our project page. And let's edit this object. Go ahead and blow this up so we can see it. So here's our photo. Let's go ahead and delete that. Go to Upload. Here's our Upload dialog box. We're going to click Upload. We're going to browse our hard drive, go find the photo that we just edited. Well, now we've got a decision to make. Which one do we want to use? Let's use Photoshop Elements one. So we'll double click that, send it to the server. It's that simple. I like to set the borders. We'll go ahead and set it to 1 this time, give it a little bit of look, and we'll align this to the right and say OK. There's our new photo. Let's go ahead and save this. And we'll switch to the web, and let's see how fast this loads this time. Bam! There it is. Simple, quick, easy, but the most powerful thing you can do to your website, format those images.